So, if you're looking for a side hustle, then probably you might be looking at food delivery. I guarantee you, it doesn't matter if you're new or if you've done this like myself for years, thousands of trips, it doesn't matter. You're going to have problems. That's kind of a given. But in this video, I'm going to talk with a new driver, my good friend Jess, who encountered a problem that I don't even think that I've had in the years that I've been doing this, and maybe you've never seen as well. It's certainly unique. It's quite a story, so I want you to hear this. So with that, let's bring on Jess. Welcome back to the channel. How's it going today?
Good. Thank you for having me back.
Jess, you texted me what happened. I called you like immediately because I'm like, what is going on? So folks, gear up, drop a like if you appreciate Jess being back on the channel. So for those of our viewers that are meeting you for the first time, just tell us, how long have you been doing this? And this is on DoorDash, folks. So how long have you been doing this?
I think about 2 months, maybe like a month and a half.
Okay. Do you know how many deliveries you've done? I don't know. I'm trying to remember if they even tell you that metric.
No, I don't think like total. I couldn't tell you.
I do remember, if you go, you don't have to do this right now, obviously, but you can go into your rating section and there should be a lifetime deliveries from what I remember. So we'll put it down below in the comments, folks, but she's new. So we're building it up here, folks. So where are you driving? Just like kind of what area?
Like the Pleasant Hills area, just like I did. I usually do. That's like I stay in that same area. And it was Chipotle, actually. So I got a delivery for Chipotle and I like immediately took it because it was like a pretty good price and it was just like up to the high school.
You're driving in basically the Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania area, in the kind of Pleasant Hills area. So with that, folks, I'm going to hand it off to Jess. She'll tell us what happened, and then I'll kind of reconvene with you here to go over what DoorDash told her to do and kind of what I was telling her to do. So Jess, it's all you. Tell us what happened on this order.
It was like not super late, but it was like maybe 8, 9 o'clock, and it was a Chipotle order. It was a pretty good price, and it was just up to this like high school that was like maybe 4 or 5 miles down the road. So I took it, and like immediately after, because I was like already in the Chipotle parking lot, so I ran in, grabbed the food real quick, and then immediately after I grabbed the food, I got in my car, I got a text message from the customer, and it said, "Hey, I'm sorry, I sent that to the wrong address. There is nobody at the high school to pick that up." And I texted back like, "Where would you like me to bring it? Like, what's the other address? I'll look it up." And they sent me the address, and it was a little bit farther, and I said, "Let me call customer service and see how I change it in the app." Because I was honestly just gonna just take it to that address. Right. But like I had a feel, I was like, maybe I should call first and like see what to do. So I called them and the lady answered and I told her what was going on. She was like, "Yes, no problem. We can switch."
Let me stop you right there. I'll stop you right there. So just, I want to have a little checkpoint with you folks. So listen, here's what happened. So you had an order request and it said deliver to like whatever, like a high school, let's say. And then the customer texted you and said, "No, you need to deliver it to a different address," right?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's what's happening here, folks. Now, this I've had happen before where, yeah, they said, "Hey, I placed the wrong delivery location. Can you deliver to a different place?" I've had this because sometimes, there's defaults in these apps. So maybe someone's delivering to a place of work and then they didn't realize, it was on their workplace. They're at home. So I've had that. So to pick up where you left off, we're contacting DoorDash support, and I'll hand it back over to you. What did DoorDash support tell you?
So I call her, I tell her exactly what's going on. I said, "I already have the food, so if you could just switch the address for me real quick, I have no problem, I'll just take it." And she was like, "Yeah, no problem, we can do that." She like typed it in, and then she was like, "Actually, this address is outside of this restaurant's delivery zone." And I was just like, "Okay." And she was like, "We do not recommend that you deliver this to this address because we would not compensate you for the miles driven." And she said, "Let me call the customer and see what we can do." And I was like, "Okay," because I already have this food. And it was a lot of food. It wasn't just like a small order. It was a hefty amount of food. And she was like, "Let me call them. I'll wait on the line." So I just waited. And then she called me. She went back over and she was like, "Yeah, that address is outside of the zone." As I'm on the phone with customer service, the lady is still texting me and she said, "I can pay you cash if you bring it." Because she said, I'll pay you extra, if you bring it. Like while I
Right.
was already on, I was like, well, I'm on the phone with customer service, give me a minute. Because I was gonna I was like, I might as well just take it. I mean, whatever. But the lady said on the customer service said, we recommend you do not take that to that address because it is outside of the zone. We will cancel the order. I will tell the customer that the order is going to be canceled. Do with dispose of the food however you want, like how they say it. And I just was like, kind of confused. I was like, what do you, okay. So I'm
Right.
not, so I ended up getting paid for it.
Yeah, it was. And this is huge. So, folks, what happened? We'll kind of backtrack this here. So, DoorDash told you don't deliver because it's out. Now, do you remember the verbiage? They said it's out of the restaurant's zone,
Yeah.
or did they say like it's out of just our zone for DoorDash?
No, she said the restaurant's delivery
Yep.
zone.
Yeah, and folks, the reason that the support agent said that is if you didn't know, a lot of these apps, the restaurants will deem kind of a radius, either themselves or I guess the restaurant deems the delivery radius. So let's say like this Chipotle can only deliver to like whatever it is, like 10 miles from their radius, from their location. So the customer said, deliver to, my location that was outside of that radius. And Jess, they said, don't deliver it, right?
She said, we do. Well, she said, how they're robotic on the phone. She was like, we recommend you do not deliver outside of this zone because we will not compensate you for the miles. And I was just like really confused, like, okay.
And you told me like, what am I supposed to do? And then the agent said, again, if you may, go ahead.
She said, we do not recommend that you deliver that. And I just like, I kept asking and she just was
Yeah.
like, you're not getting in.
Yeah, she's like, and folks, this is very rare. I'll tell you this, folks, is having a, remember, I said, if you have a customer that changes the delivery location, it is always good, like Jess did, to document with support just to make sure everything's on the actual app. But this is unique because the customer wanted it delivered outside of that restaurant radius. So, Jess, they told you we do not recommend that you deliver it. We will cancel this delivery. And then they said, right, you can properly dispose of it as you wish, basically, right?
Yeah. She said, I asked, like, what do you want me to do with this food? And she said, exactly, it is up to you of how you dispose of the food. And she actually repeated it because I just was like,
Yes.
so what am I supposed to do with it? She was basically like, keep the food and just keep it. And I was
Yeah.
like, are you sure?
Yeah. I mean, folks, there is not too many circumstances now at the time of filming this video where you can keep that customer's food in essence. Now, when I've done this years ago, I remember there was a few more fringe circumstances where it could happen. And my circumstance that I remember now was if a customer happens to cancel after you've picked up the food because they've canceled it. Maybe they're pressed for time. They're leaving the house. Like, I don't have time to eat. I got to cancel it. So if that happens, then yes, even now you most likely be able to keep the food. But I always advise folks, follow the terms of service. And Jess did that. She's talking to support directly. So let's talk about kind of what you learned from this. Because again, you're new and you don't know. Like, should I deliver it? Should I go that further location? Is this even documented? Let me ask you this. What did you think about when she said, I'll pay you cash, like extra to do it?
So initially, when I saw that text message, I was like, oh, that's sweet. Because like I was kind of going back and forth, like maybe I should just take it because I don't feel like canceling the order because like it was a pretty good pay. I was like, a little extra money wouldn't be a problem anyway. And then like I had this feeling like, what if I get there and like they don't pay me extra? Because it was like 18 minutes away was like
Sure.
the delivery. Because originally it was like maybe 10. The high school was like
Yeah.
10 minutes from where I was from. And then I looked up, it was like 18 minutes. And I was like, yeah, an extra
Yep.
8 minutes. But whenever she kept like texting me, like, I'm so sorry, I'll pay you extra. I was like, I don't know. I feel weird about you now.
Yeah.
So then that's why I called.
Well, folks, if you're interested, check the card linked above for 5 things that Jess learned after some of her first shifts. But I mean, we've talked about this, Jess, you have to protect yourself. I mean, you're a female driver, even if you're a male driver, it doesn't matter. I mean, obviously we want to, safety's number one, for you as a driver. So, we just don't know. Now, we'll assume everything's on the up and up. Even if we assume that nothing was wrong and she truly wanted this outside of the zone, what's one of the first things I told you? I said, well, she might know that she can't order from that restaurant because it is too far. And what she might have, I'm not saying the customer did this, but what she might have done is, scheduled it to that high school because she knew that that was in the zone, and then try to do this, right?
Yeah, try and be like, I'll pay you extra. Because like, I really was just going to plug it in and go. But then I was like, wait a minute. Like, if something happens, I like didn't, it's not in the app and I don't have protection. And like I said, I am by myself and it was late at night. So I was like, maybe I should just double check. But I feel like she played me. I really do.
Now so it was a night delivery too.
Yeah, it was nighttime.
Okay. And folks, I will tell you that, having done this for years, I've talked to, at this point, thousands of other drivers, just, our team members like you. If you're not a part of the team, I definitely invite you to subscribe and join the team here. But most all of these apps, they're safe intrinsically. Like, as they are 99% of things, trips, passengers, whatever it is, it's going to be completely fine. But sure, we always want to be safe, and I'm looking out for your safety, Jess's safety as well. So final thoughts. Did you leave this scenario maybe a little more skeptical, maybe a little more?
I definitely look at the best. I'm like, oh, like someone just wanted their food. They made a mistake. Maybe that's where she worked. Or she goes to school and she didn't know, but like the way that it all just went down, I was like, I feel like she knows, because she immediately texted me the minute I accepted it. So like, I don't know, it was just, the whole thing was kind of fishy, and I just was like, I think I better not.
I see. That makes a lot of sense. And there's a lot of, what ifs, like, well, when can she cancel it? Once the Dasher is assigned, can she cancel it? But maybe she won't get a refund, which is why she tried to text you. And there's a whole list of, was it an accident, right? Did she truly just kind of mess up? Or was this like, hey, at the very best, maybe just trying to game the system, but at the very worst, again, is someone trying to get you off the, we don't know, we really don't know. So I appreciate you sharing that. Much more to come, including live ride-alongs with Jess. If you want to watch our first ride-along together, definitely click the link above. And Jess, thank you for being on the channel again.
Yep, thanks. Thanks for being my call a friend when I needed it.
It very much was call a friend. And Jess texted me. You texted me like 5 paragraphs. I'm like, all right, let me just call you and we'll work this thing out, right?
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you being on the channel again. And folks, much more to come again from Jess. I just want to let you know about that story because it was very unique. Having a customer, change the location, which again does happen, but to change it outside of that radius that we talked about. So I hope this helped you out, just in case you have this, because it was a little bit rare. If you did get value in this video, you can definitely drop a like on this video. Helps out the channel. Definitely appreciate that. And you can also click or tap screen here for my newest video, as well as a video recommended for you. And I'll see you in the next one.